Jason Powell here with the 2-Day Investment Blueprint. Your next non-negotiable. Some of you are probably thinking, you already told me that follow-up wins. This is the first time that I'm going to be mega redundant because I need you to make a lot of money and actually have this as a real spinning investment business like a pro. Listen up. Become a follow-up assassin. If you missed that first memo, you're not going to miss it this time. The reason I'm doing this way, to have fun with it, is because this is super important. Here's what I need you to know. Follow-up wins. I already told you that, but I need you to marry yourself to say, hey, I'm starting to get it now, Jason. Hey, when the seller isn't ready to sell, why try and convince them and beat them up? Because then you don't get the deal. You can get a lot of these deals on the back end if we follow up properly, we follow up the right way. Here's what I mean by that. I previously mentioned most people just try and get them on the phone and beat them back up and stab them in the heart to get the deal. That's not the game. The seller Waltz, which we'll be teaching you on the acquisition side, on the appointment, does this job, okay? You're going to have the best relationship with them. There's going to be techniques, as an example, there's going to be techniques where you say, hey, look, we don't buy every house. But we do try and help every homeowner that we talk to, so even if we don't buy it, there's some things that we'll do to help you. All we ask in return is that if anybody ever needs to sell, just send them our way. You see how polite that is? So you're going to leave that house every time. You're going to leave the house on an appointment every time. If you don't get the deal on the spot, there's a good chance you'll get that deal later. You didn't beat them up. You offer more ways to strike a deal, as I said before. Now we're going to start teaching you, again in the Seller Wallet, some techniques where you say, I don't buy every house. We don't buy every house, but we do try and help everybody. When you leave, you can't control if they're unreasonable, but what you can control is that every time you walk out the door on the appointment, you have the best relationship with that property owner. And if that's the truth, then all we need to do is put your systems in place to get to all these off-market appointments first, because when some won't and there's a difference in price, that's where this comes in. If you have a good relationship with them, you don't have to get them back on the phone. You don't have to get them back on the phone or text them or email them and try and hammer them to get the deal. You're just simply in front of them. Here's what's going to happen, the byproduct. They'll text you, they'll email, they'll call you, or when you're on the phone with them, they'll be like, you know what, you're right, I do need to sell. We had one gentleman on a property on Germania here in St. Louis that got us back on the phone and said, hey, look, I'm going to go ahead and sell to you. I had offers at a higher amount. I'm going to accept your lower amount. And he said the reason he did is because we didn't beat him up, and we followed up better than anybody else that he had spoke to in the last 2 months. So he proactively got on the phone with us and gave us the deal at a lower price. So we know this process wins, right? I just can't go on with training without you being reinforced from the previous non-negotiable, which follow-up wins, to realize that no, you're actually going to be a follow-up assassin. And what I mean by that is you're going to do it the right way. Okay? So marry yourself to this. As you see, we're building this all out for you in the back end, and then you're going to take over your marketplace, right? But you're going to make the most money on the ones that are unreasonable in price, or where you leave that house with a difference in price. That's where you're going to actually make the most money in the long run. It just has to be done the right way, or somebody else is going to get it. Okay? So marry yourself to this, and we're going to start cashing some checks.